Welcome back. As we were saying, that the whole world is celebrating the beginning of a new year by midnight later today, and of course saying goodbye to a whole year full of its happiness and sadness and pandemics and everything. Looking forward, hopefully, for a fresh beginning full of health, peace, prosperity, and of course an end to the pandemic. Of course, with all these wishful thoughts, we are preparing for festivities all over the world, each in his own right. I mean, each country have their, its own festivities with its traditions, with its party bashes and everything, and its peoples also. And here in Egypt in particular, one of the top destinations where you can spend your holidays, the best holidays or the best place or destination to be able to spend your Christmas holiday and New Year holidays in it. We're very delighted to be talking about that particular topic with our dear guest here, Dr. Hossam Allam. He is the Regional Director for Sustainable Growth, Sea Dairy. Good morning, Dr. Allam.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, thank you.
Thank you so much. And first of all, what are the most important trades for celebrating New Year according to visitors? I mean, attractions, ideas, initiatives.
Of course, Luxor and Swan is a major destination for European especially because of the weather and of the culture and of the touristic sites available. But actually Egypt is, every part in Egypt, it has a story, and it has a major touristic attraction. Let's say if we can start by the northwest, which is Siwa Oasis. Siwa Oasis is one of the most beautiful places, not only in Egypt, but maybe in the region. A lot of culture, a lot of sites, starting from the Alexander the Great. There was a temple of Alexander the Great over there, where he became a pharaoh at that time. So this is when the Alexander the Great invaded Egypt, and he wanted to have some relation with the Egyptian. He went to Siwa to have this issue. The culture of the Siwian people, they are talking one of the five languages of Egypt. Egypt has 5 languages, and one of them is the Amazighi language. Over there, we are talking about 35,000 persons living with their own culture, with their own traditions, totally different. Very beautiful sites. Last year I was there in Siwa, and I reached like nearly the Libyan borders, where you have a lake inside the desert, major lake inside the lake. Yeah, very beautiful. Shiata, it's a protected area. It's called Lake Shiata. Just once you find a huge lake, and you can swim. This is one of the attractions. You can swim at that weather in Siwa.
So that was by the end of December and early January?
Yes.
And how is the weather there?
The weather, of course, it's a desert weather, which is very warm at the morning, but very cold at night, which is this normal. Which is
good.
Yeah, for anyone.
But not that particular bitter cold, like when we talk about Scandinavian countries and European ones and other different parts, which is really
warm
cold.
For them. It will be warm for them at night, but for us, it's cold. You're talking about like 2 or 3 degrees centigrade, something like this, at that time. But for them, with minus 20 and minus 15, 2 degrees centigrade at night is warm. It's maybe like spring for them.
Right.
This is Siwa. If you go in the south, the new valley governorate. The new valley governorate, maybe even the Egyptians do not know that it has wealth of culture, wealth of touristic area. If you go to Kharga,
and the well springs also.
Yes. Kharga Oasis, they have pyramid upside down. There's only one. It's not going up, the pyramid's going down. They have the only temple for the Persian dynasty that ruled Egypt. It's the only one. They have what's called the tombs of Bagawat, which is show you the Christianity history in Egypt in the 4th century, the 5th and the 6th, before the Roman were Christian, how they were worshipping and how they were trying to keep the religion. And when they start the Roman to be Christian, you can see the drawings start to have the Coptic drawing.
Descriptions?
Yeah, descriptions. So this is Bagawat. If you go to Kharga Dakhla Oasis, Dakhla Oasis, they have what's called Al-Qasr city, Islamic city, which is something that a huge city was built like in more than 400, 500 years ago with what they call it Ayyubi designs. And I think most of the people showed the movie of Abu Ali. I think this was shot in the Al-Qasr city, but nobody knows where it is. They thought that maybe it's in Siwa or something, but they don't know. It's in Dakhla Oasis. If you go a little bit higher, the White Desert and the Black Desert. The first time I said, okay, the White Desert, of course, I don't think there is a lot of white deserts in the world.
Is this where they do the sand skating?
No, the White Desert, it's the bottom of the ocean. So you are walking at the bottom of the ocean, very limestone, the land is limestone, so it's white and it's with the sun, very beautiful sceneries. The rocks, it has been reformatted from the water and the wind with a special designs. You cannot get it in any other place. And then you go to the Black Desert, and I said, okay, we saw the white. What is the black? And the black, it was a volcano. Nobody knows about this. There was like a volcano, I talk about like more than 100 million years ago. And the lava stopped at the mountain, and the lava is like basalt. So it's very black, shining mountains over there. Very beautiful scenery. A lot of people would like to go over there from Europe, from the States, or from Japan. It's very, very beautiful areas. Crystal Mountain. You have a mountain that if you go at night and you just have light at the mountain, you find it's
sparkling,
the crystals. Very, very beautiful. You have special caves in Egypt, like that where the crystals like meters.
You mean the salt caves?
The Wadi Snor Valley cave, and there is another one in Farafra. There's two major caves. Nobody knows about them. This cave, like them in Lebanon, huge tourism going over there. Jaita cave in Lebanon. It's a huge tourism over there. So you have a lot. You have at the Halayib and Shalatin, Elba Mountain. Elba Mountain is a protected area that has maybe the only wildlife now available in Egypt. A lot of people would like to go there and to watch all these wild animals over there. There's a huge tourism attraction. A lot of things. In Sinai, you have the canyons. In Sinai, they have 14 canyons. One of them is, let's say, called Colored Canyon. If you heard about the Grand Canyon in the States and the tourism is going over there, we have 14 canyons near like this. Wishwash Valley in Sinai, Nueva, where you, after like 45 minutes of hiking in the mountain, you find a lake inside the mountain. Very beautiful scenery. A lot of things or attraction that can make the people celebrate New Year in a very different atmosphere. Yeah.
But it sounds excellent. But is it our fault that, I mean, you've just numbered, and you can number more, or you can talk about more spots, charming spots, and more destinations here in Egypt, if time would allow us. But then, whose fault is it not to propagate or to promote for those places and its identities and how to spend the vacation in? I mean,
well, let's say it's not a fault.
People in the tourism industry, aren't they supposed to do some programs, supposed to do some initiatives, some campaigns maybe to be able to let the whole world know about those places and come and visit them?
Well, actually, recently the Minister of Environment, Dr. Yasmin Fouad, has launched a major program for ecotourism in Egypt. So they are starting now to do this within the Ministry of Environment, but it's not only the Ministry of Environment. You need roads, very good roads to go over there. You need an airport to go over there. You need flights. Like now we have, let's say in New Valley, one flight is going Thursday and coming back Sunday. This is only one flight. Siwa, there's no direct flights regularly. Need to be charter, which is more expensive. So it's the infrastructure. They need to have more infrastructure to let it have, let's say, better access to this area. Because let's say if you go from Cairo to Siwa, will take you like from 8 to 13 hours. Not a lot would like to spend that much time in
13
the bus.
hours would take me to the United States.
Yes.
But if we talk about infrastructure, there has been a boom and a milestone taken in a network of infrastructure taken in only less than 7 years. Yes. With our president try to establish an excellent network of infrastructure everywhere. Hopefully, if we are missing that in that particular area, it's okay, because we have established a totally new republic, and also a totally new capital with its own infrastructural network and projects and everything. So hopefully, inshallah, this
yes,
would be established.
They are now doing the roads in to Siwa, which hopefully that reduce travel time on the road, but flights is a very important issue. We are talking about most of this area is very far.
Yes.
For us, it's very far for us.
If a policy is set, then things would, I think, develop into the better. But there are many traditions associated with the celebrations of the New Year, Egyptian traditions, which makes it a little bit even more special for people, for visitors, European maybe, especially people from Europe who come over, because there are different types of tourists who come to Egypt. If you could try to talk, or to try to invite people coming over to Egypt and talk to them about the Egyptian traditions, celebrations, or festivities during the New Year, what would you say?
Well, I will tell you that Egypt is a very special place. You have the history, you have the culture, and you have the future. As you said, the new administrative city. There is a tourism for the new administrative city. It's a lot of people now in Egypt, they go to see how this is being now developed. It's a major attraction. So this is a future. So they can see the same different traditions in the same place.
Right.
And this is very important for Egypt. You can find the rich and the poor. You can find the culture from the pharaonic time with the Christianity, with the Islamic temple of Luxor. Luxor temple is a major issue about this. You find the temple with the pharaoh time. Then above it, when the sand dunes covered the temple, and then the Coptic era started, they constructed the church, and then the sand dunes covered the church. Then the Islamic era, the people over there, they constructed the mosque. It's very why always the people think of this place as a place for worshiping, whatever your God is. This is you cannot find in any other places.
Exactly.
It's magnificent. So this is the issue that people always like to see it. Different cultures, different standards. The hospitality of the Egyptian itself. It's
the spirit here.
Yeah, it's totally different than outside.
Very friendly. Yeah. And also let us talk, or let us draw the attention to the timing of celebrating or holding the event of Avenue of the Sphinx in Luxor prior to the New Year celebrations, probably to talk to the whole world about the beauty and the magic of that particular spot in Egypt. Because usually people come at New Year to Luxor and Aswan, adding to that also the Avenue of the Sphinx and the saga and the beauty and the magic of that place. How do you see it?
Any one of them would think that walking in a place where like this place exists from more than 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, and they were walking the same way. It's magnificent.
How was the feedback after that event?
You find from the
visitors,
media.
European visitors.
Most of the media.
And you received them.
Yeah, all the media were speaking positively about Egypt, which is a very good issue to speak about positive things in Egypt. It's, this will attract the tourists, the positive news. So this was a very good news. The Civilization Museum is another major news happened, and it was very beautiful. Dancing, music, all the event itself. So as much as positive news in the world news about Egypt, you will receive more tourists.
Let me ask you, as an expert in that particular field and someone with history in this industry, do people come and visit Egypt at that particular time of the year for the cultural tourism, or for the festivities, or for the weather, or for the destination?
All of them.
But what exactly is the attraction?
This is the attraction of Egypt. Everything is in one place. You cannot find this in a lot of areas in the world at the same time. This is very important. You have the weather, you have the culture, you have the civilization, the monuments, the people. All this is in one place. When you go to Luxor, Aswan, Siwa, Sinai, all this area, Minya is a major attraction place. Tal Amarna. It's very beautiful place that people can. This was the capital at Akhenaton. Can you imagine how this is a major attraction? So it's everything is in one place. This is how I can talk about Egypt.
In other words, what type of program do you set for people coming, visitors coming to spend the Christmas and New Year holidays? What exactly do you set as priorities in your program? I mean, how exactly do you plan?
Well, my advice always to Nile cruise. If you didn't do it before, start by Nile cruise. This one of the most magnificent trips that anyone will go through it. Especially, you have two types of Nile cruise. You have the one before the dam and one after the dam. Totally different. So even if you did the first one, do the second one until Abu Simbel.
So the Nile cruise in its own right has a program.
Yes, yes.
Even if I don't, I mean.
No, the Nile cruise take you for different monuments and temples along the Nile. And you go from Luxor to Aswan or vice versa, or from Aswan to Abu Simbel. And you see a lot of things. It's not just sitting in the Nile cruise. You do a lot of touristic, go to a lot of touristic attractions. So Nile cruise is one of the things. All of these cities in Egypt, everyone has its own features. And its own beauty. There's nothing called that this much beauty than this. No. It has its own beauty.
It has its own features. Talking about features, and you have briefly talked about the ecotourism that was set by Her Excellency, the Minister of Environment, Dr. Yasmin Fouad, and how important is it? And how that makes Egypt different than any other country to visit at that particular time of the year. But let's also talk about that particular difference in its own right when you visit places like, we keep hearing about places where you can only use candle lights, where you can find the positive energy from salt in the environment, where you can skate over the sand. I mean, talk to us about those different places. Even we as Egyptians, we become eager to visit those places.
Yeah, let me tell you, like in Siwa, they have asteroids. Asteroid Nizak. In Siwa, which is a lot of energy. A lot of people would like to go over there. The same in Marsa Alam. There is a place called the Nizak, where it's make a lot of a major water area that people swim in it.
You mean the springs, the wells there?
Not the springs, no. The Isaac or the asteroids, they make a lot of a big hole that it came with was filled with the water of the sea. So you are swimming where the Isaac was in this area.
Okay.
Of course, all the most clean place in Egypt is the desert. When you sit in the western desert and you see how it's very clean. Not a lot of people you cannot describe it. You need to see it with yourself. All of the energy as you're talking about it, you recharge yourself when you just sit over there.
Talk to us about the different hotels and destinations or residences here in those places where you can only resort to a totally environment free of electricity. I mean, from modern life, it only is depending on just nature, on healthy tools and stuff like that. I mean, I can talk much about it because I've heard about it, but...
No, I went to eco hotels like this. My first night in one of such type of hotels in Siwa, it was no electricity candles. I said, how can I survive? And from the second day, you start to feel calm. You start to be calm and enjoying the atmosphere of the light of the candles, very low light, but you can see in the dark more. It's very calm environment. So all these eco hotels is very important because they have their own tourists. They search for it. It's like when you go for booking.com, the people not eco hotels. They have their own,
and it's the most exclusive also.
It's first of all, it's not consuming a lot of resources, and it's getting for you a type of tourists you will never
A
get it
total
by
new
Nile cruise.
relief
Yeah.
that is being taken during that holiday. And that is also accompanied by gastronomy tourism, which is the Egyptian cuisine, the organic food, the very healthy environment, and the very healthy daily diet routine.
Yes,
I mean, the food that is served there, how is it?
every area it has its own way of cooking. In the desert area, of course, the chicken and the lambs that were cooked under the sand is very delicious. No, you don't see this in a lot of areas. So every place it has its own type of cooking, own type of ingredients. It's type of the culture. So that's why I'm saying it's culture issue. It's not cooking, the people, how they wear their own clothes, how they are speaking with each other. All this culture is different in every place in Egypt. Totally different. As I said, we have in Egypt, maybe not a lot of Egyptians knows that we have 5 languages, not only Arabic. We have the Nubian, we have the Armenian, this Egyptian speaking in Armenian language in their own homes. You have the Biji, Halayb and Shalatin, and you have the Amazighi in Western Desert. So this is Egypt. It's full of culture, full of different touristic sites. This is Egypt.
And how do you justify that in the middle of all the miseries of the pandemic worldwide, where we're watching that some the countries are totally closed, you find those particular places free of COVID-19? How do you justify? Probably
No,
people won't believe that.
It's not. It's something that's. But it's an asset for tourism. Don't stay home. Stay home at the Red Sea. This is just a program can be done because a lot of people were closed in their homes for months. So if you just try to make this as a program, okay, you'll stay.
Maybe that would be another incentive.
Yes.
Free of COVID-19.
Yeah, enjoy the sun.
And that's true.
Yeah.
Of course, we ran out of time. I hope that we could even count more attractive places and charming spots in Egypt. But unfortunately, on another promise that you could visit us again on the breakfast show. Mr. Hossam Allam, you are a regional director for sustainable growth, Sidari. Thank you so much and a happy new year to you. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.